Welcome to the annual Latino Summit in New York City. I'd like to start out first and foremost by thanking Claudia Edelman for being a trailblazer in the Latinx community across the globe. Her work is shaping private companies across the US and setting a standard for diversity and inclusion. And I am honored to call her a friend. My name is Wendy Garcia, and I am New York City's Chief Diversity Officer at the Office of the New York City Comptroller, and I am so excited to join you over video. I oversee everything from contracts to investments and ask the hard questions on who are we doing business with and, more importantly, why. I work with our $260 billion pension fund and 18 different bureaus to create regulations, policies, compliance measures to put equity at the center of the city. And I grade city agencies on how they're doing with women and minority-owned businesses. As you can imagine, this is not easy work because my job is to level the playing field and set standards where in many cases, standards do not exist. All to make sure that we are representing the 80% of women and people of color in New York City. As COVID-19 pandemic ravaged our nation and our economy, women and communities of color were especially hard hit by unemployment and business shutdowns. We also saw steerings of one of the largest social justice movements in the United States history, rightfully forcing public and private sectors to take a step and acknowledge and confront systemic racism. But make no mistake, we have work to do. New York City has a $30 billion spend, and only 3.8% this year went to people of color. And Hispanic businesses alone received less than 1% of COVID spending during the city's first pandemic year. That is why more than ever, this conference is so critical and a critical opportunity to take stock, to see what's working and what isn't. So today I encourage all of you to use your influence, to use your power, your knowledge, to put equity at the forefront of everything you do, and call on the US to do the following. Call on corporate companies across the world and municipalities across the nation to hire chief diversity officers at executive level roles and place diversity right at the top. With less than 1% of Latinos sitting on boards across the country, we must mandate that Fortune 500 companies and public municipalities create transparency plans on how they will grow their representation among the Latinx community. And we must put our money where our mouth is and invest in growing Latino wealth, providing capital for business owners, investing in education, and the health of our Latino communities. Today's dialogue is more than just talk. It provides a shared sense of purpose and a mutual foundation, the one that we need to walk in this critical work. So gracias, have a great conference, and remember que nosotros importamos.